Ms. Corey, thank you so much for the opportunity you gave me this morning to meet with you in regard, and so we can talk about AFLAC benefits. What do you know about AFLAC?
Well, they have the duck.
Right?
The commercials are awesome, every single one of them, and they pay you directly
Okay.
when you have an accident.
Okay. Wow. That's
So that's basically
Wow, that's really great because
Right.
that's to be honest with you, that's a lot more than most people out there know
Oh.
about AFLAC. So I have this little slide here. If you don't mind, I want to kind of show you a couple of different things that a lot of folks don't realize about AFLAC. But we actually, obviously, we are the duck, but we actually insure over 50 million people worldwide. Okay, most people don't know that. In the U.S. alone, we have about 465,000 companies that make AFLAC available to their employees. Here in Texas, in the state of Texas, we have about 33,800 employers that make AFLAC available to their employees. You know, the one thing that they all have in common is that it costs them absolutely zero, zilch, nada, in order for them to make AFLAC available to their employees. So everything that we offer is 100% paid for by the employees. Okay, so a couple of the key features about the AFLAC plans is that all of our plans are guaranteed renewable, meaning that you can keep your plans year after year after year. Okay, so they're all also fully portable. So as an employee, when you purchase AFLAC through you as the employer, I get a significant discount in the cost of these plans. But more importantly, if I ever decide to separate my employment with you or you with me, whichever the case may be, I can take these plans with me at home and pay for them at home at the same price as if I'm still working with you. So I'm not going to be subject to some sort of a COBRA where things go up in price, and that sort of stuff doesn't happen. So. In addition to that, our claims are paid directly to you. Okay, and that's the big difference, if you may, between us and your typical health insurance. Is that your health insurance is designed to pay the hospitals, the doctors, and those folks, where we are designed to pay you the cash in the event you get sick or injured. And if it's and benefits are paid regardless of any other insurance that you may have. We do not have any coordination of benefits with other carriers out there. Okay. So as you can imagine, our AFLAC policies complement your current benefits that you have. They complement your major medical, your workman's compensation, and the AFLAC policies paid regardless of any other insurance, as I mentioned. So in the pie chart that you see here, you have some of the three key areas as far as benefit covers. It's obviously major medical is important. Workman's comp, offering some sort of a workman's comp to protect you and your company, and also to protect those employees, as well as the AFLAC plans become instrumental in that. I want to talk about that in a little bit. But before I go any further, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your company, okay, just to kind of get an idea to see if AFLAC would be a fit for you guys. So tell me again, what was the name of your company?
Freddy's Market.
Freddy's Market, okay.
And it's a little
and you are the owner?
Correct.
So you are the person that makes the decision?
Yes.
Okay. So are there any other individuals that would need to be here that will make decisions in regards to the benefits?
No,
here, or you're the person?
I'm the sole proprietor and decision maker.
Okay. So you guys are a grocery store, I assume? Or?
It's a small corner grocery store, correct.
Okay. Okay. So tell me, how many total employees do you have here?
8.
Okay. Do you have any of those employees are paid with a 1099? They're self-employed with you. Okay. So what percentage would you say are male versus female employees?
I have 5 males and 3 females.
Okay. And what is the average age of your employees?
24 to 32.
Okay. And average wage of your employees, whether that be hourly or yearly. So how much do you pay what's the average on an hour?
$14
okay.
an hour.
And do you guys currently offer a health insurance plan?
No.
Okay. All right. So do you guys currently, do you offer a dental plan?
No.
Something like that? Okay. What about life insurance?
No. No.
No.
Sadly
Vision?
enough.
I see that you're wearing glasses. Do you currently offer a vision?
Walmart.
Okay, so so do you guys currently, let's say that I worked for you and I got hurt over on the weekends and I'm unable to work, do you have some sort of like a disability type of income replacement plan in place? Okay.
No.
So now, do you currently do your payroll in-house, or do you send, do you
Yes.
have somebody else do that for you?
I do that
So, and what is, how often are your employees paid here?
every other week,
So bi-weekly?
bi-weekly.
Okay. So, and over the past 5 years, when you're looking at benefits and things that you probably thought about offering, have the employees come to you and say, hey, Corey, can you offer these types of benefits? Have there been something that's been on your mind, or some sort of benefit you'd like to offer?
Well, yeah, absolutely, and especially because, you've got a couple employees that are want to start a family.
Right.
And they're looking for, insurance, but private insurance is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just something that
And that's
hasn't been
completely,
feasible
and
up
that's
until
that's
now.
absolutely.
So I'm hoping that, you'll be able to pull me out of the water.
Okay. So yeah, and as far as the cost of insurance, you're absolutely right. It is costly out there. So it's but I think there are some solutions that I can help you with. Before I jump into that, let me just kind of quickly go over this. So this is how AFLAC works, and I know this slide is a little bit cartoonish, if you may, but if you have an employee that, and I'll try to get to the end of it here. So as we kind of go through life as an employee of any company, we typically have our bills are at a certain point right here, and our income, we try to, our income hopefully is a little bit higher than our bills, but that gap is very, very small for a lot of employees out there. I mean, I think about, I think 86% on average of employees' incomes are going towards daily living expenses.
Yeah.
So we have about a 14% gap there that's going into savings, into 401ks and things of that nature that are not being spent on that monthly budget. So as you can imagine, when you have, so that employee is kind of going through life, as such. So what typically happens when an employee or a loved one, let's say a spouse or a child gets sick or gets injured, or that employee themselves, typically what happens is that income automatically drops. What happens to those expenses, they start to go up, okay? Because just because you're not making an income doesn't mean that you're not paying your mortgage that month, or doesn't mean that you're not paying your car payment. We can all agree that bills do not care if you're working or not. All they care is that they get paid. And we all have this meter at home running, and at the end of the month, at the end of that 30 days, we have to come up with that money to pay for those bills. So where does an employee go, if something like that happens, to bring the income at home, to bring the money at home so they can pay for these daily living expenses? So in addition to those bills I mentioned, there's still hospital bills and deductibles and co-payments and things of that nature that need to be taken care of. So there's a couple of places that as an employee can go to find this money to pay for those bills. A bank is one of those places. Unfortunately, banks are not in the business of loaning people that are not working money. They're not a big fan.